It's one thing if you're arguing with your spouse intimately in the house, but it's another thing when you do it publicly.
What would you have done?
Oh, if that was you and I? Mm-hmm. Oh, you already know.
I don't know.
I would not have done anything that you were asking in that moment until I got an apology. I would have done absolutely nothing, because my thing isn't about trying to embarrass you publicly, but if I feel you're trying to embarrass me publicly.
Wait, you want the apology in public?
Oh, well, I want you to come and pull me aside, come talk to me. You don't need to be all like, on a stage. But another thing that ticked me off with it was like, he kind of apologized. Like, oh, well, I could have. No, I wasn't trying to hear that.
Anxious, nothing. A little bit anxious, nothing.
You know which episode we do?
No.
No, you don't know?
No.
So you just show up and look pretty, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 6, 7, but who's counting? I'm not.
But you don't even know the topic.
Okay, that's why you're here. So,
welcome to another episode of Take Two with Mylan and Kate. Today, we are going to discuss the need to be right or the need to get connected. So marriages, they have a lot of, let's talk to our people who are even dating. If you are involved with someone, a guarantee as 11:59 going to 12 a.m. is that arguments and disagreements will happen. When arguments and disagreements happen, sometimes the tone can really be very off-putting, right? We've had friends we've watched get into it and we're like, oh, shoot. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes when you handle me in our arguments, right? I'm like, yo, is this where should I be here? Mm. So it's really important to, like we were talking about, to be okay with disagreeing with your spouse, but disagree in a context where you don't question, is this the space I need to be in? And it seems like that is becoming like a regular trend nowadays. Arguments are leading into things that are a lot more expansive.
Yeah, and I think no matter which way you slice or dice it, you can win the argument and ultimately lose the person, right? And people, depending on who you're dealing with, if they're a lot more non-confrontational, they build things up, they let it pile up, they just, for the sake of not wanting to argue, just take and continue to take, ultimately you are going to lose the person.
Definitely. And
respect plays a huge role too, because you have to understand, and it's one thing arguing with your partner and, saying it doesn't make it right, but saying certain things when it's just the two of you versus doing it publicly.
Woo! You remember that show we watched? That's what kind of sparked us to discuss this. Married to Medicine.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You remember? Was it Toya? And I forget her husband's name, but what she said for me as a guy, I was like, oh hell to the no. So, and if you haven't watched it, you have to see this, because they're hosting a pool party. And she wanted the group to move to a different area. And she says to him, can you be a man and lead your house, something along the lines. And it's like, it's one thing if you're arguing with your spouse intimately in the house, but it's another thing when you do it publicly.
What would you have done?
Oh, if that was you and I? Mm-hmm. Oh, you already know.
I don't know.
I would not have done anything that you were asking in that moment until I got an apology. I would have done absolutely nothing, because my thing isn't about trying to embarrass you publicly, but if I feel you're trying to embarrass me publicly.
Wait, you want the apology in public?
Oh, well, I want you to come and pull me aside, come talk to me. You don't need to be all like, on a stage. But another thing that ticked me off with it was like, he kind of apologized. Like, oh, well, I could have. No, I wasn't trying to hear that. I think it's important in relationships when, like, everyone has to take accountability. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but it's always expected for the guy to be the one to make the first move when it comes to apologizing. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I think when someone lets you know you've offended them, that's where you need to mic check, fact check yourself and say, okay, let me see why they may feel this way. But that, from that lady Toya, if that were you and I, oh no, hell no, that party was done. That party was, they ain't got no water. Oh well. Oh, the electricity's out. Oh well. It's not happening. It's important to get into your arguments, but keep a level of respect.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep a level of respect. Like, don't tell me, lead, be the man in your house. What? Over a pool party? Come on now.
Well, and again, I think we talked about this in one of our previous episodes. Sometimes the want or the need to be viral and the need to say certain things when you're dating publicly, when you're on TV, when you're, a celebrity, just for a viral moment. And so, and I always think about the other side, right? Where is this truly how she handles her husband, or this was just one of those moments where, okay, I need to say something spicy for TV, a storyline. Sometimes I'm a little bit dry when it comes to that because I'm thinking about it. Okay, it's just one of those acting moments, but you don't care. You're just it doesn't matter.
I think because this is why the other thing too, right? Going back to one of our other episodes where we're saying like relationships are struggling because of the fact you want to be viral because you are dating publicly. Now you're giving people fuel to add to the fire, right?
Exactly.
And that's why I say when it's fine to, disagreements are going to happen when you date someone. Think about the philosophy of marriage and dating and all of that. You meet someone in their 20s, in our cases in the 30s, you meet people who have lived their lives their own way. And now you're trying to merge that. So now you're asking them to forget 75 to 80% of what they know and formulate it to what you would like for you guys to do together. It doesn't work like that. So arguments are going to happen. But what always has to be at the core of a disagreement, especially when it's your spouse, it's respect and understanding we have to come back from this. You had mentioned a little earlier that, people just take. And that is what happens. And I'll say this, and I think for us as the guys, I'm going to tell you, this time around, I've made sure that I'm a lot more vocal when things hit me a little bit more emotionally. And that doesn't mean you soft because you're coming out and you're telling you, hey, you can twist your face all you want. That don't mean that
a little bit too vocal.
No, well, listen, I mean, sometimes, you could get Toya-ish.
Not Toya-ish.
No, you get Toya-ish.
Definitely not Toya-ish.
Oh, when you start swinging the neck,
I do not swing the neck. That Bronx attitude comes out. Oh no, Mylan. So I got to be ready. Oh, you stay ready. So, and this is what I'm saying. You have to be, and I don't know if this is a African saying or just in general, somebody has to be the fool. In a relationship, you can't all want to be right at the same time, but we can't have one person being the fool all the time. Sure. That's where things ultimately, they suffer in silence, and then there's infidelity, and you're like, oh wow, but that he was so chill, she was so calm and she was giving that to the public, but then behind closed doors, she was doing her own thing because she had to do what made her happy. And
he had to do what made him happy.
Exactly.
Too, yeah.
So for me, I think it's important to not necessarily want to be right all the time and have your ego get in the way of trying to fix things. And we talk about that a lot sometimes because when I'm just not feeling it, when I'm upset, when I feel disrespected, when I'm angry, I don't want to talk. I don't want to discuss anything. And sometimes I feel like the apologies are a little bit diluted. And so I don't even want
Can we talk about that time when the joke that I had made, and then I got you some flowers. The flowers were really nice too, by the way. You remember I had made the joke, I said da-da-da-da, and I used the word useless.
Right, and exactly. And that was Toya-ish. So were you a Toya?
That was not Toya-ish.
What would be a Toya version of a man? Toyo?
Tony.
Okay.
But listen.
Because how do you say, because
it was a joke.
But I can't joke. See, we have to know. And I say this too, sometimes we have to be mindful, how we treat our partners in private and publicly, because we can't say, oh, well, I was just joking with you and I was just joking with you. And if it's disrespectful.
Did that mess up filming a little bit?
It did mess up filming entirely because I don't even know what we were talking about that you would use the word useless. I'm still upset as I'm talking about it.
It was whatever.
Like, what the hell?
When I said useless, it was funny. Trust me. That's one thing I am in this relationship is funny.
Imagine as a woman, especially a black woman, because black women are always,
oh my goodness.
Imagine as a black woman calling your husband, partner, spouse, whatever we want to call it, useless, joking.
Guys, do not get a crazy perception of me out of this relationship. This was a joke that went bad, and I posted it in my stories, in our stories a couple of weeks ago.
Well, that's why you were quick to post it in your stories. No, your apology letter in the stories, because you knew. I just felt like, I don't care.
You didn't like the joke.
I don't care how tense it is. There's just certain things I'm not going to say. I'd rather be quiet for 3 days, which that is also not a right thing to do in an argument, because that's where you're letting your ego get in the way. But I'd rather do that than call you useless. Or use certain things. Oh, what good of a man are you? Lazy.
Well, you call me that a lot, though. Like, if I don't want to put something together, what's the number one thing?
Useless?
Mylan, you're lazy.
Well, lazy is but lazy is really not an insult.
Do you see, guys?
No.
Double standards.
I'd rather be called lazy, especially if my activity matches.
You would also want a guy to work at McDonald's.
If the activity matches that of a lazy person, please call me lazy so I can be motivated.
Oh,
you know what? You
better save that lean on me stuff for somewhere else.
This afternoon nap, is it really necessary?
Now we're going to talk about
that's an example. It's just an example,
listen,
right?
Guys, listen.
Why are you justifying when I'm just giving an example?
Big shout to my guy, Rich, right? He takes 5 naps a day. But me, I might take 1, okay? So every now and then, I might take a nap. You would have thought that I didn't pay the mortgage. I didn't put gas in the car. Listen, I'll come from that nap. Oh, some of us have things to do. And I'm happy that at least you could nap. Well, this is what it is. And these things, we're making light of it, but these are things that turn into serious arguments sometimes,
can
right?
Into a serious argument, and you have to pull back. And say, what are some of the things that I can say to this person? Because if you come out of your nap and I am highly frustrated about certain things, or you're having certain conversations that I don't want to talk about because I didn't get a nap. So I'm still working on my 6 a.m. energy, 5 a.m., whatever that is. I still need to be mindful not to say certain things to you. I'm just saying overall, we have to pay attention to the things that we say to our partners.
We do.
We have to be respectful. And I don't care how connected you are to your partner, the friendship level, you just have to be mindful. Because
you can't take them for granted.
You can't take that for granted. And so that, the spark continues. Right? Because then he goes outside, she goes outside, and you like to talk about the DMs a lot. And if I'm that weak-minded and a guy just says, hi, beautiful, whatever you think is going on in the DM, and you fall for it over time because your partner doesn't speak to you in that way. Or your partner doesn't support you in that way. The communication level is not that fluid. You might fall for certain things like that, right?
And we've talked about that. It's look, since we've started doing this lightly, we've lightly become a relationship experts.
I don't want that hat.
No, but so people will ask. People will ask us things, and what we'll say in this is that for this generation here, people, I would say between the ages of 35 to about 45, maybe even 50, the flexibility and the belief in options are crazy. People just think, oh, well, he talks to me this way, so, Johnny X is going to talk to me that way and we're all good. you cannot take the space you have with someone for granted. So when those arguments happen, and I'll use myself as the sacrificial lamb, if you will. All right, guys?
Okay.
I don't really do
Get
much
on that
wrong.
cross.
I don't do much wrong in this relationship.
They know now.
And it's difficult sometimes as I'm trying to, seriously, you have to be comfortable knowing when you are wrong and hitting that reset to make things settled again. You know, one of our big arguments when we first got together was about where to live. And I felt you were positioning a thing one way, and we had some pretty tense conversations that it almost made us wonder, like, is this really what we're trying to do? But it's taking a deep breath, hitting reset, and saying, look, I felt this way, and this is why I said what I said. And that doesn't absolve you from it, okay? It doesn't absolve you from it. But it's important that your spouse understands what got you to that point so you can better that behavior. Because you can say sorry all the time, but if the behavior is still present, you've wasted everybody's time.
Yeah. In arguments, I think a lot of us listen to respond versus listening to understand.
Wow.
And so the responses are ready. And sometimes they're just sitting there waiting because you argue so much that as soon as he says this, this what I'm going to, when she says, I'm ready. It's just like a back and forth.
No, but you were right how you said as soon as he says this, because that's how you are all the time.
No.
That's how you are. She just gave herself away.
No.
I don't do much wrong here.
So if you feel like you're in that space where you can honestly speak to this, where sometimes you feel like I'm not saying much during the argument because I don't want to come from the space of listening to respond. Because sometimes I do have the response, but I have to pull back and say, you know what, just hear it all the way through. Give yourself some time. And sometimes it could be a day or two, which you dislike. But for me, I think it works. I'm trying to find a healthy balance, but to think through everything that was said and say, okay, where was he coming from here? And then revisit the conversation. Because in that moment, I probably would have said some
harsh things.
Like useless, right? But then I pulled back and I was like, you know what?
Well, I mean, you say some harsh things all the time.
And so just process everything, come back and have the discussion and leave on a good note. And I think for you, that's very important to you. And I'm learning that. I'm still not there yet.
And that's what we're talking about. He's
still working on me.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Coming from different spaces.
Right.
Because for me, and you're really good at, if we have disagreements, Kate will go like a whole work shift and not talk to you. And she'll actually do a double if she needs to. So it might be 16 hours where I'm not there's no conversation. And for me, I get a little bit antsy. When something occurs, I'm very quick to assess, okay, this is what's happened. Let's fix this and let's move on. Not sweeping it under the rug, but making sure that I address the behavior. Kate, you are more processed out with that. And sometimes it's like, well, I already figured that 20 seconds ago. But hey, what happened for me on January 5th is still working for you on February 2nd, right, babe?
Yeah. And that's why two different people coming together is tough. It's really tough because it's taken me 3 days to process everything that you said to me during that argument. You might feel a certain way about it. And for me, it's not about being upset anymore. It's about processing everything that was said, what I said, what you said, what I did wrong, where I could do better. How do I come back to have that conversation and hash it out? And you think that me not hashing it out in the moment means that we left it unresolved and we swept it under the rug.
That is something I admittedly, I do struggle with that, because I don't know how you master that space to have, that time frame.
You have to choose your battles. You have to choose, and you have to choose the things that you're really investing a lot of energy and emotions in, especially if it's repetitive. This is constant. These are the things that have happened before. You've said it a few times. I don't like this. When you talk to me this way, I don't like this. I would like for you to address me in this way. I would like for you to be at the door when I come home and greet me properly. And if you said it 10 times,
I'm still waiting for that, guys.
And I haven't, over time, you just kind of try to figure out a different way to whether deliver it or just let it be. Right? Because you can't fight and win every battle. And if we're having people from different backgrounds and this is challenging for them and it's going to take them 10 years before it clicks, how do you work with that rather than fighting them all the time? Oh, you didn't meet me at the door. Oh, you said this to me again. Oh, you said... Some people don't learn that way. And sometimes with you removing yourself and creating that distance for them to really understand that what you did hurt, sometimes that separation is what makes it click for certain people.
So I'm learning on this show is that if you and I get in another argument again, the 2 to 3 days could stretch out.
No, I don't think you should go to bed. I seriously don't think people should go to bed.
See what Take Two has done? Now I have to wait 4 days, guys. Look at that.
I don't think people should go to bed angry, and it's easier said than done.
That's funny about you, though, because you won't go to bed mad. You'll be like, all right, good night, but then don't talk to me.
Yeah, but good night. We're going to bed. We're like, what?
That's the interesting part about when we have those disagreements, right? Because you'll straight up, the whole day we might not talk, especially like if I'm working from home that day, you will not speak with me. And then you'll still be like, you want something to eat?
Yeah, because those are things.
But that's that stuff, it grinds my gears.
Well, you could be mad at work, but you're still going to perform, right? So the fact that I am upset doesn't mean you're not going to eat. The fact that I'm upset doesn't mean I'm not going to say the usual good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Right? But don't expect much more outside of that because I'm still processing.
Yeah.
And the processing period can be, 2 days, 8 hours, depending on how intense it was. No, but it's
typically 16 hours.
But sometimes it's the ego.
Even
and this
24.
is where we're talking about the ego getting in the way. And so we're working on that. You have to make sure that, you're not allowing the ego to get in the way where, you're winning the argument, but you're losing the house.
Yeah.
So what's more important to you? Being right and going back to what I said earlier, being right or trying to really fix it.
Yeah.
And if you think that fixing it in the moment is going to cause more damage, because sometimes people don't understand that either. Yeah. Sometimes trying to fix it in the moment when everybody is so hot and bothered, it's not the right thing to do. And
that was a learning curve for me with you, right? It's how do you not want us to address this now? And now that through our journey, as I've gotten to understand that more, I don't personalize that. In the beginning, that is something that was very personal to me because it's, whoa, she's not trying to talk about this now. Oh, okay. I see where this is going. So when you're going through that emotional roller coaster, because everybody knows when an argument happens, what they feel is the most important thing. And as you're on that roller coaster, if you don't stop to realize that it's not just you, this is where things are going to hit the fan and it's going to get ugly because that's how resentment builds fast. ASAP. You can debate me all you want on that, but you do have to understand how you speak. And that's something we both had to learn because we're both, I'm a lot more emotional up front than you are when it comes to speaking. But when you get emotional, it's like, whoa, then I have to go to another octave to meet that.
Oh, Lord, please. But I think through this all, no one is perfect. So you have to seek help.
Yeah.
You have to, because we can sit here and talk to you about what we do and don't do and the do's and don'ts, but every household is different.
Yeah.
And somebody can present a way here, but when at home, when the arguments come, you get a whole different person.
Yes.
And that can be scary and challenging. So while you're praying, also get people who are professionals who can help you work through some of those things. because it can be really difficult when you're dealing with that by yourself, just the two of you, thinking that, you can get through it. Then another one comes in, we can get through it. And then by year 10,
it's just people who just resent each other.
People
they're
who
just
are
there.
signing documents and calling it,
Are you forecasting something to me here?
No, I'm just saying be respectful, be understanding, and believe when people tell you they don't like certain things. Don't laugh it off and think that it's joking and be there for one another, because I think respect is very important and we need to really be mindful.
It is the foundation to make the relationship prosper.
Yeah.
Is respect. And it's important. Look, realize you made a commitment to be with someone. That is who you're going to work through and figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything
I'm
else?
not your daughter. You're not my son. I'm your wife. You're my husband. I'm not here to coach you. I'm not here to train you. I'm not here to, pamper you. I'm not here to disrespect you. And so let's understand that. And I'm not speaking to you, just in general, So let's respect one another and embrace what we have. And make it a beautiful thing and get through that 10 year mark, which seems to be a curse, right? Let's get through it. But thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take 2, Mylon and Kate.